Nathan Lyon, Mark, what an exciting signing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, when his name cropped up as a possibility, I suppose we were all over it really. We knew that the Australian Test schedule is reasonably quiet due to the T20 World Cup, and you know, his name had cropped up in the last sort of 12, 18 months as someone who was looking for, you know, where possible, a county stint. So I suppose we'd always been asking the question. To ultimately get it to the point where we've got it over the line, everyone's really excited about it. I think everyone can recognise the advantage of world-class spin at Old Trafford, given, you know, particularly if we get the right conditions and the right weather. I think in addition to the performance element of it, to bring someone in with that sort of level of experience and quality is just fantastic for everybody involved, really. But, you know, all the players in the squad will learn huge amounts, whether you're a young spinner or a top class batter. You know, you've got someone who's been there and done it right at the top level, and everyone's really looking forward to Nathan and his family come in. He seems really keen. You know, I've spoke to him a couple of times and seems really invested and looking forward to the opportunity. So yeah, we can't wait for April, really.
Having that calibre of overseas player, Mark, you've played with some absolutely outstanding ones yourself. How significant is that for a dressing room, and especially if someone that's here not just for a few weeks or a month or two, but they're here for the summer?
Yeah, I suppose that's a really good point. That, you know, to have someone for a long period of time just gives you some stability, doesn't it? And I think everyone's aware of the challenges of trying to find overseas players in at the right time to really help your performance. So I think belief's probably a big thing, and you know, Nathan's been there and done it right at the top level. So when you have him and Jimmy knocking about the environment, you know, there's not many things that those two won't have come across, and you know, they can impart and share those experiences on the group, and ultimately invest in it. You know, I'm looking forward to his contribution off the pitch as much as I am on it. On it is fairly self-explanatory what he's going to give us. But it's his value around that you know, can have a real lasting effect on some of the players here. So yeah, we're really excited about it, as I say, and looking forward to it.
It says a lot about the club, doesn't it? That you can attract a player of that calibre for an entire kind of 6-7 month season.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you know, it's got great history, hasn't it? And like you just mentioned, we've got a history of having some fabulous overseas players. It has become more challenging to get people for extended periods of time, but even in recent years, we've had some fab names, and I mean, you only really have to come to the venue to sort of recognise how much fun it is to play out there in front of a decent crowd. So, you know, I think anyone who's been to Old Trafford and has now seen it with all the new development recognises the quality, and they also know that we're a strong outfit, aren't we? We know, anyone who's been following it closely will know that we've been close and we've been competing, and we're always up there pushing for trophies and putting ourselves in with a chance of winning things. And I'm assuming that's another draw for Nathan, is that he sees himself coming into a strong squad, and hopefully he can add a little bit extra to take us that extra step.
So having Nathan for the season obviously is really strong. In terms of other recruitment, Mark, is that, you see that being a little bit ad hoc, near the time type thing?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we're still in conversations about where we might go, but I suppose we've still got this head coach sort of situation lingering that you're quite keen to sort of get that dealt with first, so they can be integrated into the discussion. There's a bit of strategic stuff, you know, with Nathan. Obviously, you know, he'll be a huge asset within both our 4-day and T20 teams, but I think we look at the T20 season this year and think that there's maybe a couple of young players that we want to look at blooding into that competition. So, you know, you're sort of trying to think about your strategy around, you know, do we get someone in at the start for the first 8 week of the Champo games? And so we're sort of having that debate internally and trying to decide what we think is best, because, you know, your options are, certainly in the Blast this year, you know, with the T20 World Cup happening, you know, your options are reduced, and you just got to say, you know, the players that you're bringing in, you really want to add value and maybe not block the pathway of certain players that you've got. So I'm probably going to try and hold my nerve till the IPL auction. I think that's 19th of December. So you've got a bit clearer indication of who's available from there.
I love that phrase. Got to hold your nerve. Is it a bit like that recruitment now? You just got to.
Sometimes it is, because you get offered players and you're like, you can commit. I can commit at this point in time if you want to. There'll be options out there for us, and you're just trying to balance that with what you think you need, like I said, and your balance of your squad, and also just waiting for that date, because then everything becomes a little bit clearer. It doesn't mean we don't stop having conversations and stop looking at options, but I think that's certainly where my head's at the minute.